communities that we serve, which are Fauquier and Rappahannock counties. And our vision is to create a caring community where everyone is able to live a fulfilling life. It's very much in line with our presentation today. And we like to say we care, and that stands for we convene a variety of stakeholder groups. We advocate for increased mental health services in our communities. We refer to mental health professionals, and we educate, and namely those would be mental health first aid and spiritual first aid and presentations such as these. So a little bit about our history. We were established in and I'm saying all this because it's Mental Health Month, and we are celebrating not only mental health awareness, but also us as an organization, because it is our 60th anniversary. So we were established in 1964, but when local citizens came together to create the first mental health clinic in the region. And we are a nonprofit advocacy and action group, and we increase awareness on mental health and substance use. And we are closely affiliated with the Fauquier Free Clinic, and they provide more direct care of mental health services. We are also an affiliate of Mental Health America, and there are affiliates in every state, I think nearly every state. And like I said earlier, it's our birthday, our 60th anniversary. We're very excited about that. We were established in November of 1964. And as you all probably know, Give Local Piedmont is coming up. So if you're one to donate, think of us on May 14th. So that's all for the background, and now we will jump into it. So the first action for living a more fulfilling life is to get moving. And I have experienced that myself by just taking walks every day. There was a time in my life when I was really in deep grief about a family loss. And I just decided to start, taking a walk, and it kind of built upon itself. I enjoyed it so much that I kept doing it, and it really helped me. So then I found research that supported, what was happening when I decided to take walks and why I wanted to keep taking them. So movement can impact your feelings, and so an example is when you feel tired or sad, you probably move more slowly. And when you feel anxious, you either rush around or become completely paralyzed. So studies from the Harvard, that I found through the Harvard Health blog, have shown that this is a two-way street. That means movement can change your brain, and your brain changes your movement. So regular aerobic exercise can reduce anxiety by making your brain's fight or flight system less reactive. It also can reduce depressive symptoms, and it can be as effective as medication and psychotherapies. It also may boost a mood, may boost mood by increasing a brain protein called BDNF that helps nerve fibers grow. So you're literally creating more neural connections with the exercise, which can help you get out of those thinking ruts and those kind of repetitive thoughts that lead to depression or are symptomatic of depression. And so people with ADHD, a study showed that a single 20-minute bout of moderate intensity cycling briefly improved their symptoms. It enhanced participants' motivation for tasks requiring focused thought, increased their energy, and reduced their feelings of confusion, fatigue, and depression. It has also, like I said earlier, alleviates depression symptoms, and exercises such as yoga have been shown to reduce the severity of post-traumatic stress disorder, where to the point where some people no longer meet the criteria for this diagnosis. Simple acts such as changing your posture, breathing, and rhythm can all change your brain, thereby reducing stress, depression, anxiety, and leading to a feeling of well-being. The other thing that I thought was super interesting about this blog is the benefits of synchronizing your movements. So actually, when you exercise with somebody else, there are amazing benefits of that, which I'll just touch on briefly here. It's been shown to, when you move in synchrony with someone else, it improves your self-esteem. In a 2014 In 2014, psychologist Joan Lumsden and her colleagues conducted a study that required participants to interact with another person via video link. What the results found were that subjects intentionally synchronized their movement with the recording and had higher self-esteem than when they did not. Prior studies have shown that synchronizing your movement with others makes you like them more. You also cooperate more with them and feel more charitable toward them. In fact, movement synchrony can help make it easier to remember what people say and recall what they look like. So I thought that was really interesting. And by working out, going on a meditative walk by yourself, or going for a synchronized walk with someone else, you may gain access to a kind of a shortcut to mental health challenges without having to psych yourself into feeling better. So when you walk with a friend, you don't actually feel like you're exercising, you feel like you're just going for a walk and chatting. So with that in mind, we do offer wellness walks every Wednesday. They're kind of geared toward the people that are in the workplace, but it's open to everybody. We just had one yesterday, and we were surprised by that we had the Director of Parks and Recreation join us, and he gave us a tour of different plants and trees along the Greenway in Old Town Warrenton. So it was really interesting. It was a good midday break. We got some exercise, some fresh air, and we learned a lot about different plants. So please join us if you're able to. This is a picture of a wellness walk that we did last October with employees of Fauquier Hospital. And this is after the wellness walk, and you can see everyone has big smiles on their face. So just want to share that. All right, action number 2 is make connections. So I don't know if you guys have heard about the social isolation epidemic. The Surgeon General came out with a report, I think maybe a little over a year ago, talking about, that social isolation is very widespread after the pandemic, and actually the pandemic just made it worse. We were kind of isolating prior to that, probably because of more reliance on technology and cell phones. But it has such detrimental effects that it's been shown that loneliness is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So definite, not only effects on your psychological well-being, but your physical health as well. And then social anxiety is real, especially as we're coming out of the pandemic, and many of us are just, kind of been stuck in our homes. It can be really require a lot of effort to get out and do things in the community, but we believe and we encourage you to do so because networking and talking to other people can have amazing benefits. And I'll get into those. So people with stronger social bonds have 50% increased likelihood of survival, and those have fewer social connections. It can improve our ability to recover from stress. It can promote healthy eating and physical activity and weight, improve sleep, well-being, and quality of life, and most importantly, reduce your risk of violent and suicidal behaviors and prevent death from chronic diseases. I think what this, I don't have any facts, a scientific study to back this up, but I have experienced that, being around people and being more comfortable around people, for me, definitely reduces my fight or flight reaction system. So I become less reactive and nervous the more I am around people. I don't know if anyone else feels that. Some people may feel the opposite, but actually it's proven to be very healthy for you.
Depends on the situation.
Yes. So what exactly is social connection? Social connection is the number, variety, and types of relationships a person has, having meaningful or regular social exchanges. I think Renee knows of a study where she found that actually having spontaneous lunches with people are more effective than having a regular scheduled lunch, because it probably does something different from the brain, the neural pathways, that something unexpected rather than something routine is more healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Okay. And a sense of support from friends, families, and others in the community, a sense of belonging, having close bonds with others, feeling loved, cared for, and appreciated, and having more than one person to turn to for support. You kind of need a network of people, and that can be people who can support your emotional health, and for people who can support you physically, like helping you get a ride, or helping you get childcare. It also means having access to safe public areas to gather, such as parks and recreation. So a lot of us may have very fulfilling, marriages and, home life, but it's actually more than that. It's being connected with people outside of your household, knowing that they're there and they're with you and able to help if needed.
Mhm.
So research points to some of the main benefits of social connection: increased happiness, better health, and a longer life. Sometimes it's a heart-to-heart, spill out all talk, but sometimes it's just a laugh out loud email. So sharing memes also counts as social connection.
Yes.
So what do you do if you don't have social connections? You feel like you need to expand your network. You can identify what kind of things that you need, such as people that provide concrete help, emotional support, perspective, advice, and validation. So to kind of assess whether you have enough support, you can ask yourself these questions. Do you have friends or family members that you feel comfortable with, that give you a sense you could tell them anything, that can help you solve your problems, make you feel valued, and take your concerns seriously? And here's a great helpful tool for more detail and ways to assess social support. And I can provide all these links and references after the lunch and learn, so that you can look at them if you feel like it. So, as I mentioned, getting involved in the community is really very helpful. Community safety is more than just. Well, let me backtrack on that. A lot of people may not may socially isolate because they don't feel safe in their community, or they don't feel included, or they don't feel like they belong. So a way to kind of overcome that is to get involved and create a community initiative, attend events, reach out to neighbors, advocate for change, share resources, create safe spaces, participate, support others, and listen and learn from others. A lot of times if we have an issue that we feel like is an obstacle for why we can't participate or why we feel we're excluded, taking a leadership in that issue that we feel strongly about can kind of help others see it, and also create more avenues for connection for others who are also facing the same types of loneliness based on exclusion or not a sense of not belonging. So we recommend going to events and fairs, taking the initiative to introduce yourself to neighbors and engage in friendly conversation. If politics are important to you, I know a lot of us, we feel very strongly, and we we write comments on social media about politics, but we're behind a screen. We're not really interacting with people on a human level. A lot of people are just, spewing comments. But if that's really important to you, perhaps get involved in local politics and advocate for policies that support a better community environment. Don't just, hide behind the screen. And then share resources. For example, I don't know if you guys have heard of Hope Heals, but it's a great place, for when you're ready to get rid of something, you bring it to Hope Heals. Hope Heals gives it to somebody in need. It's a free store, and it just being charitable and giving creates a lot of goodwill in the community. So as far as creating safe spaces, community gardens or neighborhood watch groups are a great way to do this. And cultural events, join something that feels where you that's that feels like home, that you feel supported in. So whether it's Juneteenth or other cultural events, just get out there and participate. And then support local businesses. I can tell you from example, I grew up in Old Town and I live in Old Town now. But for a while, when I was really struggling with social anxiety, I did not actually go uptown or participate in farmers markets or shop at any of the wonderful shops that we have. But then recently we have this mental health month initiative that really got me participating with some of our local businesses. And it really helped kind of break that barrier where I felt like I didn't belong in those spaces. And actually they're very welcoming to everybody. I don't know why I felt that I didn't belong, but it's really good to overcome those feelings and really embrace them and just force yourself to overcome those barriers. And then listen and learn from others. Take time to really listen to what people are talking about, what they feel their obstacles are, and kind of create a consensus to kind of build understanding, inclusivity, and empathy. Because chances are, if you're feeling a sense of exclusion or not belonging, others are as well. So I just want to, on the next slide, highlight some of these great organizations that people could take part in. For example, if you like gardening, there is the Virginia Master Gardeners. If you like theater, the Fauquier Community Theater is a great group to get involved in. Parks and Rec, as you know, has wonderful programs all the time, but they also have great trails and parks that you could meet up with a friends for picnic or something. Fauquier Pride is a place of welcome and inclusivity, NAACP. And then volunteer. The Path Volunteer Hub is a great source for volunteer opportunities to kind of join with people in a certain cause and meet new people. And then if you see nothing that really speaks to you, start your own club. That's a great way to just really, capitalize on things that your expertise and to find like-minded people that, want to join you. I think being a leader is always a way to get over some of the things that are holding you back. So another great program that you might consider is Leadership Fauquier. For a long time, public speaking was holding me back, but once I got over that, I feel a lot more comfortable just talking and presenting and sharing the things I know. Does anyone have any questions or comments at this point?
I was going to say real quick that I just saw an article on Facebook about a woman in Manassas who's a mom who used to play soccer, and she started asking other moms if they want to just kick a ball around, and now it's become like a little mom soccer league. So it's
Awesome.
something that you never know that other people would be interested in and turns into something.
Yeah, that's awesome. And doing things that you really enjoyed, at a different time in your life, kind of reawakening those can be very beneficial.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that I think you're doing a really, really great job, because I have trouble like doing these presentations and I get kind of wrapped up and lose my place. So I just wanted to, as someone that has personal experience with the same kind of things that you do, I just wanted to give you some praise.
Thank you so
You're doing great.
Really appreciate that. I
Mhm.
sometimes have a real loss for words, so I appreciate that you guys are here with me.
I totally understand.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, so the next step in this kind of presentation is doing a relationship audit. So we want to encourage social connection, but we know that there's probably in many people's lives those relationships that aren't benefiting them. But you want to strengthen what's working and kind of decrease what may not be working. So you want to evaluate, like I said, and when you're doing that, some factors to look at are trust and mutual understanding. And then, with people that you think it might not be working out with, it's not necessary to cut them out of your life totally, but identify areas that might need improvement. And it takes two. Really evaluate yourself, whether you're giving as much as you can or as much as appropriate, in the relationship as, to make it productive, or to make it worth both of your time. And when you're doing that, look at the way you communicate with people, and those processes, and how and personalization efforts. And what I mean by that is, do you send an email out to 15 people and, see which ones respond, or do you kind of personalize it to each person and consider their lifestyle, the things that they might be juggling, the things that are important to them? Do you just meme, or do you send a text that says, I saw something today and I thought of you, I hope you're doing well? Really kind of flex to that person's communication style, and what they might be looking for in a friend as well. So when you're doing a relationship audit, now this is for people that have, are really, struggling to maybe get out of toxic relationships, or they really want to find better friendships. Kind of identify that there are certain people that are appropriate for certain things, and others may just be there, to, like, one example here is the tell it like it is, or someone who may just have information and they're a good source of finding out things when you need a reliable source for something. So different kind of friends, or not friends, but people in our lives might be a supporter. They might be the one that's kind of like cheering you on when you're doing something new. A vampire is someone who just kind of takes all your energy. It's always about them and their needs. Then there's role models. This might be somebody that's in a higher career level that you look up to, that you want to, you're following the things that they do, and you're kind of taking notes, and getting advice, a mentor. And then there's a consultant, someone that you might just be like, hey, this happened, and I want to see what you would do in this situation. And of course, the tell it like it is friend, oftentimes that's like an older sister or a brother.
Good to have.
And they're good to have, exactly. And then, the enemy, that's somebody who really just is not supportive at all. They might be in your life. I know I hate to refer to social media so much, but we all have all of these friends, and there's some who are really supportive and will give you a like when you post something positive, and there's some that you have the sense that are just sitting back judging, or they only put a like when you say something unfortunate that happened to you. Just keep an eye out that not everybody in your life is there to support and encourage you. They might just be watching things happen. So 2 sources for that that you might find interesting are listed here, which again, I will share after the presentation. And sorry, I'm trying to move my navigation thing here to get to the next slide. Okay. So then there's those relationships that you want to strengthen. So make a list of people that you really want to in your life, and contact them regularly. And if it's necessary, set some reminders on your calendar. Remember birthdays, remember if someone has a loved one who died at a certain time of year, remember that can be a sensitive time of year. Maybe their kids are graduating, they're really excited about it. Those would be good times to reach out and, just let them know that you're cheering them on, you're supporting them. Or if they had a recent death in the family, reach out and say, what can I do to help? Some of these things are obvious, but, if you really want to increase your social connections, actually having a pattern and a strategy to it can be helpful. So remember to listen really well to friends, and not just just kind of listen for what they're saying, but what they're not saying as well. So remember that people can't read your mind, and then also show gratitude to people for what they're doing in your life, and that you respect and support and appreciate them. And as a reminder, move out of relationships that make you feel unsafe, lower your self-esteem, or draw you into unhealthy habits like abusing drugs. Really pay attention to how you feel after you hang out with somebody. I know after the pandemic, when we were so isolated for so long, it kind of gave everybody a relationship reset where they really were able to, since our interactions were so sparse, we could see like, wow, that interaction left me feeling even more empty than I felt before. Or you might have been feeling, wow, I'm so glad that person's in my life. I'm so glad they reached out to me. I'm so thankful that I, have them to talk to when I need to. So another thing that we recommend is getting support from a group if necessary. If you feel like your emotions are a little bit maybe too strong for a layperson to deal with, getting support in a group can kind of let you know that you're not alone. And the people in the group have probably experienced some of the same things that you're feeling and can give you suggestions. And then you can see inspiration from others who have overcome issues and are coping well. So the Mental Health Association puts out support group directory. That's available on our website, and I put a little screenshot of a thumbnail here just so you can see what they look like. They're on our website under the resources tab, and I will give you links to those later as well. So as an example of different support groups that are available in the community, now again, these are focused on mental wellness and substance use, but there's also support groups for chronic health, chronic illness issues, hospice issues, all different things like that, parenting. So, but a few that we work closely with and that we recommend are NAMI Piedmont. They meet weekly at the hospital. You can find details on their website. Celebrate Recovery also meets weekly, and they provide dinner and childcare. SAFE is the domestic violence support organization that serves, that's located in Culpeper, but serves Fauquier, and they do an Empower Hour. So people who have been through domestic violence really benefit from having people in their lives that continue to remind them about the importance of boundaries and self-esteem. So those might be helpful to refer somebody to. Aging Together has a variety, huge variety of support groups that are available on the website. Postpartum support for new moms, really important to be connected with other moms after you've just had a baby. And they do wonderful things. They have support groups for a variety of different languages and different concerns as well. Spiritual Care Support Ministries is a great group for people who are grieving a loved one. And then Spirit Works is for substance use. And the C Recovery is something we highlight all the time. It's a peer support drop-in center located in Culpeper. And they have groups all day, all week. And they have things such as 12-step recovery groups. They also have anger management, parenting. They have exercise courses, a wide variety of things. You can click on their website and you'll see what I'm talking about. Highly recommend people check them out, or at least be aware of them, to encourage someone who might be struggling to stop in there. It's staffed by peer support specialists who are people with lived experience, and that's been proven to be about 80% successful in keeping people in recovery. So it's a model that really works, and perhaps someday we'll have something more local. That would be nice. Cornerstone Cares is a faith-based support for caregivers. We know caregivers can be incredibly stressed and lonely sometimes with dealing with a loved one, and it's important for them to stay connected as well. All right, so our final action for this more fulfilling life that we're going to venture onto is celebrate yourself. And so what do I mean by that? Do I mean throw yourself a party? Well, you could do that, but you know, there's things you can do on a daily basis to build this into your calendar that so you're celebrating yourself every day, which is by freeing up some time for yourself, doing something you loved as a kid, doing something you've always wanted to do, and doing it with someone you love. So pursuing a new hobby with a friend would be a great idea to do this, and just kind of embrace yourself and what you like to do. So always be looking for ways that you can, you know, reduce your obligations, to make more time for yourself. And look into like courses at Parks and Rec for different new activities you might want to try. And then things you'd love to do as a kid. I mean, flying a kite is good at it's fun at any age. There's just a lot of things that you can still do that will bring you joy. All right, another step to that is find your flow. Identify high points of your day and try to do those activities more. Don't look for flow in passive pursuits, and try to inject flow in some regular activities to make them more rewarding. So flow is like those times when you're feeling in the zone, where you feel like everything is kind of clicking and coming together. You want to kind of take note of those times and kind of identify what led to those, what factors are making things work for you in your life at those times, and try to create more of that. In one study of hospital cleaning staff, they found that some were unhappy, but they upped their pleasure by creating new challenges, and doing things like listening to music, helping more, having a sense of gratitude, and just the act of helping somebody else can be so joyful, actually. So don't forget. And then finally, indulge. Give yourself a massage. I mean, not give yourself, go get a massage, meditate, take a nature break, or a mental vacation. Just remember that walking in or even looking at nature calms our nerves and releases pent-up tension. In one study, workers with views of nature were happier at their jobs than workers with no view at all. And if you can't go on a plane or go somewhere soothing, just close your eyes and imagine a scene you love, and try to fully imagine the experience of being there. Those I would call our coping mechanisms that can really help you out when you feel like everything's due at the same time and there's no way to find free time. Just kind of close your eyes and just imagine you're at the beach. And lastly, practice mindfulness. And a lot of people say, like, what is mindfulness? So what that really means is really paying attention to what's happening in the moment. So you can practice that by start with a meal and, you know, feel the textures, taste the taste, enjoy the aromas, don't rush, don't answer the phone, and remind yourself to be conscious of other experiences throughout your day, such as how water tastes, for example, or how a shower feels, or how the sun feels on your skin. And then when you'd feel a great moment or feel like you're in the flow or everything's going well, share it with somebody else. That way you get to relive the moment and you get to see somebody else's reaction. And if you can't find someone to share with, we recommend calling the Virginia Peer Warm Line. We had them as a guest presentation a few months ago, and they told us, you know, they talk to some people regularly, call in, and they love it when people share the good things that are going on in their life. So I will share that number afterwards. It's very good to have either for yourself or a loved one, you know, just when nobody else is around, to just have a number or someone to call. And then let it out. When you're feeling good, throw your whole self into it. Go ahead and jump up and down, clap your hands, because research shows that if you act out a certain emotion, you can fire up that feeling. So in other words, even if you're not feeling great, pretend you are, and it tends to happen. So those were my 5 actions for a more fulfilling life. As I mentioned before, it is Mental Health Month, and so we're doing a lot of things to kind of celebrate mental health awareness. And just so we have more variety, and because Christine does a great job, I'm going to turn it over to Christine to talk more about those, and I will chime in whenever you need me to, Christine, and I will forward the slide for you.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, our Mental Health Awareness Month activities. So we have these little butterfly cards that we're kind of hiding around town, hoping that people will find them and, you know, puts a little smile on their face. The QR code on the back of it links to a page with Bridget put together a bunch of great resources, kind of similar to what she talked about today, of how to get out there, how to seek help, but also how to increase your mental wellness in smaller ways too. So yeah, we're putting these out there. They're in the stores. A bunch of the businesses in Old Town Warrenton have joined our cause and put up blue butterflies in their windows. If you get to stop by Deja Vu and see their reclaimed jean butterfly wings, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Got
that's
coloring
great.
pages at Latitudes is doing coloring pages, and just kind of, you think sometimes about big things to do for Mental Health Awareness Month, but sometimes just the small things can make such a big difference to people. So that's what we have done for this month.
And we also have a scavenger hunt, and it's full of ideas of activities, so you can't think of anything to do. We have tons of suggestions, and we actually make a game out of it. So if you complete all the items on the scavenger hunt, put you in for a drawing of a self-care basket. Oh, sorry, I forgot the slide.
So yeah, this is just a little example. I took about 25 at a time and hid them around town and then took some photos. So if you follow our social media, we'll have little hints about where you could find them. I can tell you 2 of those were at the open book. And one is all the way at the end of the Greenway Trail. If you can find that one, that one's pretty cool. It's really pretty. And that encourages you to get out and walk and go out and find some butterflies.
And as I stated in the beginning, about 90% of mental health concerns are treatable, and a butterfly just represents the new beginnings are possible, and that you can start over again, you can live a more fulfilling life, and we want everyone to kind of reclaim their wings and find their joy.
Yeah, that's our scavenger hunt. And we really want to encourage workplaces too, the workplace bingo. Try to incentivize, if you're a leader in your workplace, try to incentivize mental health for your employees. Bridget put this together, which I thought was really cool. They could do the bingo and then you could reward them with something.
Yeah, something like a gift card to go get coffee with a friend. It
Mhm.
kind of encourages them to do even more things that are beneficial for connection. And
Yeah.
And that's available for download on your website?
Yeah,
It
when you go to our website now, there's a pop-up and it
Uh-huh.
has 3 links on there. One is the complete workplace toolkit, one is the workplace bingo, and one is the scavenger hunt.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
So we have actually reached the end of our presentation, but we would love to hear from you all about some ideas or some experiences that you've had of things that kind of, helped you get out of a rut, certain phases in your life, or any questions you have about us and what we do. We have someone just joining now, unfortunately. We are recording this, so we will be able to send out the recording to anyone who missed it.
Nice.
I was thinking earlier, Bridget, when you were talking about walking and imagining yourself somewhere, I went to the gym for the first time the other day, and on the bikes, you can choose like a location where you could, kind of pretend like you're biking. So I was biking through France and going up hills and
Nice.
Nice.
made the biking a little bit more enjoyable.
Heard you can do that with was it a Peloton or is that something else?
Something like a Peloton, but yeah, with the big screen in front of you, it's like you kind of forget that you're biking as much as, if you were just listening to music, it's kind of not the same, but music helps. But
Yeah,
I thought the screen was pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of music, creating a personal playlist that, something that you can go to when you feel like your emotions need some regulation would be a great idea to kind of also kind of explore different music as a new hobby.
I've heard too of a lot of like book clubs popping up,
Yeah,
Yeah, me
and
too.
that's a cool way to connect.
yeah, the open book do they have a couple?
They do.
Mhm.
They have the kind of kids craft and story time, and then they have an adult book club. But one other thing I wanted to say, if you find something that you really like doing, like me and my husband, we really like trivia. So like having it be like a guarantee, like Wednesday is our trivia night, more likely to make this time and the schedule to go.
Mhm.
So not just randomly kind of going like Wednesday's our trivia night. And if you keep up with it, it's like you look forward to it, you know.
Yeah.
Wednesday's a good night, it's the middle of the week. And you start talking to other people because you're kind of discussing,
Mhm.
who's winning and who's not winning, but then also inviting friends because you can have a team of 6. So that gets other people involved.
That's a great idea.
There's no trash talking, Christine.
A little bit, yeah,
So,
definitely. Last night there was. We were in last place last night, but it's not about winning, huh?
So I'm looking for those, the scavenger hunt and things like that. Could you drop the link in the chat?
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it should come up unless you have a pop-up blocker. I just thought about that.
Oh, yeah.
Let me know if you don't get it, Chelsea.
Yep,
Uh, And some community events that are coming up that you might be interested in. The Remington Community Garden is having a big Get Healthy Fair is it this weekend? Yeah, Saturday.
This weekend, yep.
Yep. There'll be tons of different organizations and vendors there. And Remington Community Garden is just such a peaceful Zen place. And then you might be inspired to become a gardener. I don't know, pursue a new interest.
And they are happy to teach you to be a gardener.
That's awesome.
If you are unsure of how to start, the Women of Warrenton is also having their meeting on Saturday morning, the Methodist Church, and they always welcome newcomers.
Yep, and Renee will be giving a talk there in honor of Mental Health Month. And also on May 18th, there will be a presentation about the benefits of horticultural therapy, so actually gardening for your mental health. And that will be in Marshall at Schoolhouse 18 at 1 o'clock. I believe there will be a press release going out pretty soon, and we'll post that to our website and social media if you're interested. I just want to give one more shout out that we offer mental health first aid and youth mental health first aid for adults and for youth who work with adults once a month. And those are always posted to our website as well. Renee, I know you must have a funny story that you can share.
I just really
funny
encourage.
stories are good to reduce, isolation and bad feelings and go Renee. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good, but we are also partnering with the Piedmont Dispute Resolution Center to bring a program called Chats. It's healing, community healing and telling stories. And so we are going to do that training for the facilitators in June. And so look out for invitations to come, and to be totally honest, we're going to teach you how to have conversations again.
That's
Because
awesome.
I think a lot of us have forgotten. I've been talking to a lot of older adults, and one of the older adults told me the best thing that you could do, because this older adult aged well, you know, they're one of those, for me, she is one of those people that I want to be when I grow up. And she said to make a new friend every year.
Aw.
And really think about that. When was the last time you made a new friend?
That's hard.
It is
Difficult.
hard
Yeah.
because we're used to it when we were young. And so we need to get back into that practice. So I want to encourage everyone, you know, Bridget talked about the protective factors, you know, of preventing mental health and substance use issues. You know, connection is the strongest protective factor. And so make a commitment to yourself that you're going to reach out. You know, when you're standing in line at Safeway or at Giant or at Harris Teeter, get off your phone, strike up a conversation. You know, look at the on the community happenings page and just decide, hey, I'm going to go to this event. Because the worst thing that can happen is the person might just give you a one-word answer, or you go to the community event and it's not what you thought it was going to be. But otherwise, you might make a new friend. I know the Open Book here in Warrenton has more than one adult book club. I know one is focused on mysteries. If you'd like to write, the library has a writers group that meets. So find your interest and then start making connections. I know you all talked about pickleball earlier. The Fauquier Pickleball Association offers free lessons once a month. Barbara can tell us all about it.
There's one this Saturday, but it's full. Yeah, you can just go to the Fauquier County Pickleball Association and you'll find the link to how you can sign up for a 101 class. They're held at Auburn Middle School on Saturday mornings.
Great.
I got some ideas now.
Any other questions? Any other suggestions for other lunch and learn topics that you might be interested in? Please let us know.
Nicely done, Bridget. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Andy.
And Christine, the butterfly situation is I've heard a lot about it. So a lot of positive traction there.
Oh, good. We were kind of afraid that people would see them and think, well, that's not mine, I won't take it. So we went back up to Old Town. There were a few hanging still where I put them. I'm like, maybe someone will hear about it and take one. So
I love that.
Thank you.
We're also having an event at Silver Branch Brewery on March 29th. It's kind of a culminating Mental Health Awareness Month get together.
May 29th, Bridget.
Sorry, May 29th. Getting my M months mixed up. May 29th, that's a Wednesday from 6 to 9. So
yeah,
in town, please join us. Should be fun. There'll be lots of butterflies.
I've got to hop off, guys. I've got another meeting at noon or at 1. So it was good to see everybody.
Thanks,
too,
Chelsea.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Just a reminder to please complete the post-event evaluation so we can improve these events and offer things that kind of fit more of your interest in the future. And if there are no other questions or comments, thank you all for attending. And I hope you have a great rest of the week and enjoy Mental Health Month and get out there and get connected.
Thanks, Bridget.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was wonderful.
Well, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.